Hello, everyone. Welcome to DevChat here for February 15th. We're here again. My name's Chuck Meyer. I am a senior DevRel here at Algolia. DevRel, Dev Advocate, Chatty Engineer, whatever you want to call me. And we do these every Tuesday, very casual, just kind of chatting with folks and doing some coding and talking about what's going on in the community. Nothing too formal. This week I'm feeling a little on the low-key side, so just kind of go with the flow, figure out what happens here. Couple things to talk about. First thing, a few weeks ago, we were kind of drilling in a gentleman named Jacob out there in the community. Had written a blog post and putting together a package, kind of a Nuxt wrapper, Nuxt 3 wrapper for the Algolia client. That, some news today, I guess, that was added into sort of the Nuxt community space. There's a tweet about it. So now you can actually find that Nuxt module is now an official Nuxt community module. So you can grab that and take that module and use it in your projects. We've also added that module to the Algolia Code Exchange now too as well. So if you do a search for Nuxt 3 here in the Code Exchange, you can see that's the first thing that comes up. All goes to the same place, though, goes to this really great module. So shout out to Jacob and everyone over there in the Nuxt community for doing awesome things. Drop a couple of these links in there. You can see, let's see here. Here is, oh, that's a straight link to it. Let's see, this is actually the one that I wanted to show. Oh, come on, Twitter. There we go. So here's a link. Hey, Brian, how you doing? Man, I don't know, kind of wish I could be Loki. Loki is, he's so clever with the words, you know, man? He's just a good talker. I wish I was a good talker like Loki. But instead, I'm just going to be kind of a casual talker here. It's a little bit more Bob Ross than Loki, I think. So that's the link out into the Nuxt community conglomeration, and this one is into the Code Exchange version. Again, they go to the same place. If you're a big Nuxt user, you're probably going to want that first link, right, to go find all the cool modules, the cool official modules. If you're an Algolia fiend, then you're going to want to be over here, but maybe bookmark them both, right? Good places to be. Another piece of that, too, is that on our side, our engineers have actually been working. There's been sort of an outstanding issue here around using our instance search components with Nuxt 3 that you can see is now closed, and closed happily because we've actually got a fix in for that. So I suspect that you're going to see a lot more sort of extension of that Algolia module with this being closed and the ability to sort of use instant search components directly within Nuxt 3. I suspect you're going to see, without spoiling anything, some extensions of that module going forward to sort of bring some of those cool instant search widgets into the fold. So cool. Just amazing to see all the really cool things going on out in the Nuxt community. I feel like they're sort of an underserved community within the Algolia space. We tend to spend a lot more time talking about Next.js and React and all that good stuff. But Nuxt and Vue is still out there kind of holding it down, doing awesome things. So keep it up. Very cool. Second thing I kind of wanted to go into today, as you guys remember, I was kind of working on this geographic search, multi-layer geographic search, agency finder thing. The whole deal here is that it kind of does a combined search of both geographic records, right? Things with latitude and longitude associated with them, and sort of more abstracted like state or federal records. So let's see here. Let's do like 100 East. I think this is, here we go, 100 East Broad Street in Columbus. This is one of the big buildings downtown here in Columbus, Ohio. So you can see here what it's doing is it's doing kind of a combination of a geographic search. It's finding places that are semi-close by, a bunch of stuff in Louisville, Kentucky, and then also these sort of the statewide agency and national agencies. And the way I sort of built that was by chaining together a couple of queries. Let's see here. So you can see in my code, here's my agency finder form. When I click submit on that, basically I do a search against my geoindex, and then I do another search against the state index, and then I sort of concatenate the two sets of records together here and sort of build like a nice kind of longer list of results here with the more abstracted ones on top and then sort of the brick and mortar shops underneath it. One thing that was pointed out to me internally is we actually have a capability to do searches across multiple indices with a single call, kind of nicely put together. It goes out and it can go and query multiple indexes and then come back and sort of give you multiple sets of results. And I haven't played with this before, so I thought it might be kind of fun to go and take this and switch my code over to use kind of the more formal way of doing things here. So we've got a nice code sample here, right, where we sort of build out each of these queries as an array. And then we can kind of pass that array of queries here and get a single set of results back. So I thought maybe we could give that a try and see what happens. And so that's kind of one thing I was going to work on today. The other thing, I know originally we were talking about kind of playing more with the e-commerce template. We were last week, I kind of dug into that a little bit and got to look at some of the things that you can do with our e-commerce template. Bring that up real quick. Maybe. Here, this one. Drop that in the chat since I'm bringing it up. But I'm bringing it up because I don't think I'm going to mess with this today. I want to kind of drill in a little bit further. Last week, I set it up, pointed it at one of the existing Algolia indices, and we kind of dug in on some of the cooler aspects of it. Remember, like the cool thing that I was particularly excited about was this whole sort of experience for no records found, right? So say like you do a search for Nike shoes. Let's see here. And then, oh, actually what I want to do here is we'll stay in shoes. We'll pick, what was it that I was doing? Was it Saucony's? Yeah. So do something ridiculous, like say that I only want to see Saucony's, but I want to search for Nike, right? And so rather than just saying, hey, there's no records here, we give you some other options around like checking your spelling, or remember, you've got the Saucony filter on, maybe you want to turn that off, which makes for a much better experience here. And I think there's like even like, there's like a similar queries experience, right? So if I say blue, suede, denim, see, then I get some alternatives. Maybe actually a blue polo Ralph Lauren top or a blue polo Ralph Lauren shirt, or just the word blue, right? Just kind of give you some other experiences. So it's not a dead end. So you've got a place to go from here. So I thought that was a pretty cool experience. But anyway, I wanted to dig in a little further. But I think like the next step I want to do is I actually want to sort of pick a headless e-commerce solution and try and kind of really wire it in and see what we can build. And I'm not up for that today. So I think instead I'm going to kind of either play around a little bit with this multi-index search. We'll do that for a little bit. And then the other thing is one of the folks at Algolia was kind of talking about this fun little thing. Oh my gosh, can I find it now? It was it Netlify? It was doing a thing with Valentine's. Do you know what I'm talking about, chat? There was what was it? It was a Netlify thing where basically you could kind of give Valentines to open source projects that you love. Boy, I can't find it now to save my life, though. There it is. Is that it? Well, it's nice that Netlify does love open source, but yeah. Anyway, so someone was like, hey, why don't we do something fun for President's Day here in the US? We have a bunch of days recognizing sort of various early presidents coming up. And so we kind of lump it all together on the 21st and have one day to say, yeah, we had a lot of presidents. It was cool. And so we thought maybe there'd be something we could do there. And so I was thinking maybe we could goof around, do something like try and use like this wiki quote API to maybe try and pull down some like quotes from presidents, make them searchable, do a little bit more of a data ingest kind of take. So I think that's probably where I'm going to spend my time today. Obviously, you can always divert me if you've got things that you want to talk about. I'm looking over at the chat. We don't have to just talk about low-key Lokis, like Brian's been saying there. Feel free to ask questions, kind of dig in on different things. But without any of that, we're just going to go ahead and start looking at this, this multiple index thing. And so the way it looks like we do this is you actually kind of, looks like you pre-build all your queries as an array here, as you can see, and then pass them along. So I'm going to steal that just to get the format of it. And maybe what I'll do, rather than mucking with this, I'll drop that in here. Grab this one too. Just like to do it that way. That way, if I have to go back and see, like, what the heck did I just change, right? I can see them both. So my queries here, I've got, looks like the first thing you do, you've got your index name, your query, and your params. Okay, so what we can do here is say my index name is my geoindex. And my query, because we're doing a geographic search, I actually don't need any query text here, so we can leave that blank. And then my params are these three things. So we're going to do, say that it's around a latitude and longitude. Remember, this is our radial search, right? So I give it a specific latitude and longitude, and then it's going to go search out in a circle and order them based on proximity to that location. And so I've already got this geocode location. This is coming out of that Google Places API, right? So I've got my little form that I'm running here. And whenever I key an address in here, it's getting sort of populated through Google Places. Right, so I can pick an address here, and then behind the scenes, my state information should also contain latitude and longitude information. So let's see here. I'm trying to remember, was it under, where do you get that information out of? Yay, front-end fun. Let's see. I'm trying to remember. I thought there was a way like you could see all the state information. Oh, maybe I can't. Is that somehow getting abstracted away because I'm looking at the compiled version up on the server? Is that why it looks so different than when I run it locally? Let's go ahead and spin it up then. Ah, it's so weird to me, y'all. Okay. So I remember there's a way like you could click in on the stuff and see state information. Is that, oh, maybe it's up in my agency finder, is that why? Yeah. Let's see, no. There it is. Cool. Okay, so yeah, here it is in my finder form. There's my state info. So you can see the geocode information getting stored there in the back end. And then when we go ahead and do our search, boom, 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 we get all these nice, lovely results. Okay, so I've got that coming out on my state. And then my facet filter here. So this is just whether or not it's preferred agency, right? We're faceted on this ability to say whether or not they are flagged as preferred within the index. And then I'm just doing 10 hits per page just so that it doesn't sort of get too long. And now we can do our second one, which is our state index. So let's see here. Grab that. And then for our state index, we want to search for the state code. And kind of weird, right? Because we're talking overloaded state. This is right state of the application. This is actually an honest to goodness state within the United States. So that's fun. And then what else do we got here? What are the parameters? Hits per page is 10 on that one as well. So let's go ahead and make sure that's in there. So, and we can hard code filters. We can do all the things that you normally do for query. I don't need this third one, so we'll knock that off. And cool. So that gives us our queries. And then what do we do with them? Then we take them and we call this multiple queries. Okay, so multiple queries gives us that. And then we get these results. Okay, we get our hits. Let all hits equal hits. All hits which, so this is where I'm combining mine, which theoretically we don't have to do. What I suspect is going to be different here, though, I think this results object is going to be like multiple arrays. So let's see what the response looks like. Yeah, see, so I get, so I get these two sets of hits. So I'm still going to have to combine them if I want to get a single output. But the cool thing is like I get all of this metadata per, and I've only made one request. So what we're going to want to do here Let's see. Now let's go ahead and make a branch. Okay. And then we'll go ahead and start messing with this. So we can pull all this out. These here. We'll log the results. Why not, right? Hits. So let's see, how do you make a empty array in JavaScript? Is it just like that? And then we want to we want to put all of the results, all the different hits for each result into this array. What's the easiest way to do that? Let me think. So this is where I wish I knew JavaScript better. Do that. You want to do results map. Push dot hits. Is that the way to do that? That doesn't look 100% to me. Whew, I wonder what that's going to do. All right, let's give that a try. Oh, am I still in this one? Let's see. That's fun. See, it doesn't like client. What was it originally? Oh, did I have the client embedded? Oh, that's what I did. I bet I already have like the client embedded in the. Where do I bring this in? Yeah. search client. Well, that might just be it. Let's see. GeoIndex is not defined. Oh, do I have to do this? I thought because, oh, I see. GeoIndex with an I. What happens? Oh, cool. So that worked. Now the problem, of course, is that I've got my national stuff at the bottom here. I guess that's just the order. Maybe it's the order of these. Swap them. See what happens. Oh, that messed it up, huh? Oh, don't you know? Oh, I see. Difference? There we go. Interesting. So the results, for whatever reason, are. I guess that makes sense. Yeah, no, I don't fully understand why the results are reverse order, but there it is. Cool. So rather than doing two different query calls, I can kind of do them all as a single query here. So that's pretty nice. Oh, I'm logging the results. Are those over here? I guess we could have looked at those. And there they are. So we've got my first one, my 2 hits, and then my second one here, my 10 hits, the index and everything. So cool. So you get a nice like single response object. For my purposes, because I'd already sort of thought in terms of sort of concatenating them, it didn't really buy me too much, but it could be cool if, say, we wanted to show, I don't know, the national stuff up here, kind of put a different UI on it, and then bring in the place ones. The other thing I was thinking would be kind of fun would be go ahead and add a map back into this. Like now that I've kind of figured out that whole thing with using the Google wrapper to actually give me like a nice sort of Google API context for everything. I'm wondering if maybe I can take that context and then inject it into the GeoSearch component and actually put a map down here with just the geolocation stuff in it too. So this could be useful for that too. But that's pretty cool. So there you go. That's using the multiple query, um, multiple queries method here. And sorry, just reading, you have multiple indices that serve different purposes. You want to target one index and send multiple queries. So this was something I was thinking about, right? Like right now, I've got these broken out into two different indices. And one thing I thought, that's kind of nice. But the other thing I could potentially do is we could have them all sort of as a single index, and then the records without latitude and longitude information. Do that secondary lookup based on provider states or whatever, to allow me to do kind of that second query. But I feel like at the end of the day, it's kind of six of one, half dozen the other, because you still have to do two queries regardless. There's not really a way to consolidate the two. So whether you're querying against a single index or multiple indexes, it's not really that big of a deal. And I feel like from an indexing perspective, like from a performance perspective, because they're so different, it kind of makes sense to have them split up. So I think I'm probably going to keep them that way. So there you go. So now we've seen how you can use search multiple indices. Is there any other fun we could be having with this while we're in here? Um, let's see. Obviously, we could like increase the number of hits here. We could hard code a facet filter. I think, we kind of actually are seeing quite a bit of different stuff here. We've still got this preferred. Hopefully that still works. Let's see. Mm-mm. Yep. So we can still get preferred agencies here. I like this one in St. Matthews, Kentucky. The Shiki Fuchsia Dog. I love these names. I'm going to use this random naming library all the time now. You're going to get so sick of nerdy teal vulture and all of these different things. But, oh my gosh, so great. And let's see, let's commit that up to our production one. How about that? Let's see. What changes have we made here? So agency finder. Oh, this was just me cleaning up some formatting earlier. We can bring that in. That's fine. And then on my finder form, so now we've got our queries coming in here and our single cold or search client. Is there anything that we want to pull out of here before I clean this up completely? Let's see. So we've got our two indices, our search client here. Do I initialize? Oh, see, yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm initializing these clients across the different indices. I don't need to do that anymore. Remember your language, Chuck. There we go. Let's not do that and see what happens. What I was doing initially was, setting up search clients for each of these two indices, the geo one and the state one. No longer need to do that because we're just doing this single multi-query. So let's see what happens. Okay, I'm fully ready. Shout out to the Chase building. Preferred. Yeah, cool. Okay, so we don't need to do this anymore. So that was just when I was mounting it, I was going ahead and initializing these two here. Interestingly, you don't have to initialize an index, which I guess makes sense. This is probably all happening under the covers now. But I'm going to pull this code out. I don't need it. And where am I initializing that search client? Maybe I should be doing that down here, right? Does it feel weird that it feels kind of weird that we're doing it up there, right? And I'm assuming that I have access to process CNV. I'm going to take this and move it down here. Am I going to regret this? Am I going to regret this, chat? Am I making Changes for no good reason. Keep in mind, I am a neophyte when it comes to a bunch of this stuff with JavaScript. You keep wanting to put this constant index equals. Oh, that's got it. That's it's the Copilot. Really excited to build out an index here. But we don't need that. We don't need that Copilot. It's okay. And so now up here, is this it? We want to this that. All right. What have I done? Is it going to work? Let's find out. Nope. Okay. Multiple queries. I've gone too far. All right. It's unhappy about my multiple queries. Let's see here. Oh. Well, I just took that initializer right out of there, didn't I? It'd be useful to actually call it. Ba, ba, ba. Very cool. See, so this is my problem. Like, I'm kind of an old school functional programmer, and I've never really been good with like object oriented. So now, like, I start to get in this whole thing of like, should these be part of the class, right? Like, all of this stuff, should this all be encapsulated within my constructor? Um, it just seems so weird, but at the same time, like, I guess it makes sense, right? Like, you've created this object. Um, this doesn't need to live in this global space here. Do I bring them in too? I don't know. I think I'm going to leave them there for now. It's just environment stuff. I mean, I guess the other thing is, right, like I don't really even need to bring those in as constants. I could theoretically just bring those in last minute down here. But like, is it good etiquette to call envs directly within my methods here? I don't know. I feel like it's good to kind of, I don't know, I like the idea of like bringing everything in from the environment up here, right? So that you can kind of see right away everything that's like requires environment variables, and then giving them kind of nice common names throughout the rest of it. But I could see where that would be ugly to someone else. Very interested to hear what other people would do in these cases here. Um, I know we're kind of just getting into like the nuances of like, how do you write good code? And then, of course, the other piece of this too, right, is that my understanding is that this whole sort of class-based way of doing components is going away. That functional is back, and I should be using functional components and event hooks anyway. So who knows? That'll be a conversation for another day. But I'm going to leave this here for now. I think this is working, and why break it again? So let's see, we'll go back into our Finder forum. So I've brought this down into my initializer now. I've mucked with this to build a multi-query search there. That looks good. And yeah, and here's my init search is now, instead of initializing these two indexes, is literally just initializing my search client. That seems pretty good to me. So we'll go ahead and add that in. And let's go ahead and commit this. What is it called again? Multiple queries. All right. Let's see. And since I'm an army of one now, let's do in the main here. See what Vercel's up to. What are you doing, Vercel? An air. What don't you like? C-Finder form 6828, array prototype map. 6828. Return value. Got it. Is it just as simple as doing this? All right, JavaScript. But still, I mean, is that really all it is? Detroit. Yeah, let's do Detroit. Man, it's even further. There's just nothing up here in the Great Lakes area, is there? Nothing to be had. No providers. All right. Go ahead and check that in. All right, Vercel, let's see if you like that any better. All right, well, that's going. Oh, it's there. Don't you love it when you spend half an hour doing a bunch of code so that an application can behave exactly the same as when you started? Doesn't that just feel good? Feel satisfying? But this was all about the learning opportunity. This is seems to be the preferred method for querying against multiple indices, and so now we know how to do it. That's a good thing going forward. And again, not just if you have multiple indices, right? But if you wanted to chain together multiple queries with different parameters, right? So maybe you want to query across multiple facets. Maybe you want to do a color search and also a brand search. This is a great way to do that. You just build out each of your queries, chain them together. I guess the cool thing is you could predefine all of those queries, right? So sort of have a config with all your different queries in it, and then stitch them together into an array however you want. Pass them along. It does seem like they came back in reverse order. Um, Maybe it's in random order. I don't know, but it certainly would be nice to know that there is some sort of guarantee that the order is the same so that you know which result set you're looking at. I suppose part of it too is that you can dig in, right? Each of these results actually has the initial query parameters and index all kind of baked into it. So you could drill in as you iterate over them. But boy, it sure would be nice to know that it was in the same order that you sort of requested them. I don't know if there's a guarantee on that though. Good to know. We can play with that more another day. Um, about 10 minutes left here today. I am maybe going to spend a little bit of time um, looking at this president thing. This is something we can maybe spend more time on next week. But again, my idea here would be to go in and find kind of quotes from the various presidents. Who's this? Oh, Miranda July. Oh yeah, uh, she's cool. And if you don't know her, she did a movie called You and Me and Everyone We Know. It's a good movie. I liked it. She's kind of a performance artist. But anyway, she has not yet been president of the United States. So the thought here would be to do something with presidents of the United States. Let's see. Let's do Chester B. Arthur or Chester A. Arthur. That's right, Chester A. Arthur. If there's any quotes from Chester A. Arthur. What a pleasant lot of fellows they are. What a pity they have so little sense about politics. Yikes. So, yep, you get all sorts of quotes here from President Arthur. Here's another one. Polk. What President Polk had to say. A lot of stuff here. So the thought would be to go ahead and kind of extract out all of these quotes um, via an API and then make them searchable in some sort of index. Maybe do like a kind of fun chat interface where you could chat with different presidents, something like that. But the first part of any good search experience is extracting the data. And so I was kind of poking around, poking around. And I found that there were a few different folks that have kind of built around the WikiQuotes API. I found some JavaScript here. I found another person who had taken the same JavaScript for whatever reason and made an npm package out of it. And then I found some Python here. And I thought, since we're doing backend stuff, we're doing API scraping, I might do it with the Python. So I'm going to start a new project here. Let's see here. So get this poetry, create a directory or not. Just sure that I don't create this in my root here. Oh, it does create. Okay, cool. So new. Oops. Okay, what do we got in here? A README, some tests, PyProject, and then I'll just wiki quote. Okay. Do I trust the author? Sure. I trust myself as far as I can throw me. So what's in pres quotes here? Init. Some tests. All right, well, I'm just going to create a main just to keep things simple for now. Bigger so you all can see the dependencies. But I just added a dependency. Is it already in here? Yeah, wiki quote's in there. Okay. Well, let's just see what happens. Can't open main PY. Was it down my pres quotes? Module. I did this. Why is it not working? Cool. Okay. Well, we've got it now. So wiki quotes search the matrix. Is it wiki quote? Oh, maybe that's the problem. Wiki quote. Okay, added. Huh. There we go. Got it. So we've got a search that gives us a differentiation page, disambiguation page, excuse me. And then we can do quotes from it. So what happens if we do wiki quote search James K. Polk? List of presidents of the United States. Ooh. What's the disambiguation page for a list of presidents of the United States give us? I wonder. Lots of interesting stuff, but Richard Nixon, United States sanctions, racism in the United States. I was hoping it would just be a list of the presidents of the United States, like literally. All right, let's go back to Mr. Polk. Figure it'd be fairly easy to grab a list of the presidents and then sort of iterate through them. But I was kind of, it'd be super cool if we could do it all right through this API. James K. Polk. Like that Perl is one of the things that comes up for James K. Polk. Also, white men can't jump. Fascinating. Okay, so let's do a quotes on him. That does. Wow. Okay, cool. And quotes. Let's do this. Do string. Remember how F strings work. That's what happens when you jump back and forth between languages. Is it like that? Or is that, am I getting my JavaScript mixed up? Oh, it's like that. I am heartily rejoiced that my term is so near its close. I will soon cease to be a servant and will become a sovereign. uh, lots of stuff here. That's pretty cool. So obviously we could take that, we could build out a JavaScript structure here where we've got the name president. Whole thing, this is nice. It's super clean. I didn't have to think much. But what I don't like is if you're here on the page itself. Well, no, this is okay. Okay, so this is just a quote section. Like I was looking at Thomas Jefferson earlier, and they had it broken down by sort of like era, every decade. It'd be nice to kind of have those as well. Like if we do this, sorry, President Polk. See what we get for this. See, so it's getting all the quotes, but I'm not getting all that context around the decade, which could be useful for our database. But maybe for this version, I don't need it. I mean, the question is it worth going and sort of figuring out how to scrape all this stuff out myself? Uh, let's see what happens. Cool. So you don't get these where it's from or any of this kind of contextual information. But I'm going to play around with this some more. I feel like for getting sort of an initial database together, if I can maybe grab the quote and then the president, when they were president from and to, and maybe a picture of them, that could make for a good index. Maybe even do it in two indices, right? Index of presidents and then an index of quotes. Still kind of hashing out the details of how this would fit together. If you can think of something fun that I could be doing for President's Day around sort of like aggregating all this information, um, let's do it. Let's do something kind of cool. It'd be kind of fun to build something out that's timely. And we'll work on this a little bit more next Tuesday, I guess. Sound good to you? All right. I think that's like the day after President's Day, right? So, um, I think. I don't know. I think I'd know my dates, but I don't. And so I'm just going to bid you adieu with that. I hope you had some fun. Hope you learned something. Sorry I was kind of low key this week. Hopefully I'll have a little bit more energy next week and we'll dig in a little further. And I will talk to you then. Take care. Bye.